Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, students. Thank you so much for attending. Great to see you for what is essentially a really important step in your education. Tonight is really giving you the opportunity to understand the options that are available to you in terms of your curriculum, your knowledge, and also the courses that potentially you can take next year, which will shape the rest of your life. Now, we'll come on to that in a minute, but first and foremost, I really wanted to say thank you. And I really mean this, to say thank you sincerely from my position as the head teacher, and on behalf of you, the parents, on behalf of you, the students, and all of the staff here at Haven High. We're incredibly proud to be involved in this organisation, and incredibly grateful to you, the students and parents, who have been so actively engaged in your education throughout both lockdown 1 and lockdown 2. We absolutely understand that this has not been easy. I can only sort of help to let you think about how difficult it's been as a teacher sitting behind a blank screen for many hours a day. We also understand from your perspective as students the challenges that you've experienced, but I just want to say thank you. We have worked tirelessly together as a team to continue that world-class education, and that will set you in a really good place going forward, where you need to understand it is a truly competitive environment at GCSE, because your performance will be measured against other students of the same ability across the country to get that level 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. So I think that as a result of the work that you put in during lockdown, you'll be in a really good place. Okay, so let's take the opportunity to kick off formally our class of 24 options evening. And I just want you to think about some of these pictures. Imagine yourself in August of 2024. It'll be amazingly quick how it comes around. This is results day. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it wasn't quite as emotional as it has been in the past. This is me and my son, and I was just delighted with the performance of his GCSEs. And this is some of the prior years where you can see that emotional response between students and parents, and that connection where they work tirelessly to get their GCSEs, and they have finally realised that those doors now for their future education have been opened as wide as they can. And it truly is amazing. And I just want you to look at this photograph for a moment, and you just see the pride between parents and students about what they have achieved together, because be under no illusion, this is a team effort. This is a team effort between parents, students, and the school, all working in perfect harmony. And what I hope is that by 2024, you'll be in this position that you will be able to deliver the grades that you deserve. And we'll see a few tears and a few smiling faces as well. So please do think about that. That is your target for August 2024. Okay, so let's just think a second about what is our core purpose, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve as a team together. And this is really going back to the vision, which is about providing this world-class education. And this is what makes Haven High Academy different to many of the others. When the pandemic came around, we didn't just shut up shop. We didn't just deliver a few packs of paper to you to complete. We anticipated, we planned, we trained, and we delivered on day one a full interactive timetable. So when we talk about world-class education, we have delivered that. And this will enable you, the students, to reach your true potential in a safe and supported environment. So when you come back to school next week, it will be different. It won't be quite as open as it used to be, but we'll still have all of the teachers and all of the pastoral team to support you in terms of your academic and emotional and mental support. So you will graduate from Haven High in August 2024 with the skills required to ensure that you're successful citizens of the future. And why is that important to us? Well, because That's our moral purpose. That's why we're here. That's why many of us made the decision to become teachers, that we can ensure that you become successful citizens of the future. And I can assure you, as a generation, you will be experiencing more change than any other generation that has gone before you. So let's just have a look at a few photographs of the past, because this will help us shape the future. And many of you will be laughing at the mobile phone over on the left-hand side. I don't know if you can believe that that was the first mobile phone delivered in 1973. So not long ago, and certainly looking at many of the teachers and certainly myself, that was delivered within our lifetime. We think about how we used to work in the past. The top right-hand photograph is a factory called Ashton Brothers in Hyde. That was where I started working in my first job as a production chemist for Courtaulds Textiles. And unfortunately, that building has gone, but many of the people who worked in it had been in that for their whole working career. If we look bottom left, you see a rather more modern sort of office environment. However, because of the pandemic and the development of MS Teams, and certainly how we do our business, there is now a huge surplus of office space where people are now setting up home offices and working at home. They're no longer limited by the length of the cord on the phone that they put on their desk. And when you think the bottom right-hand photograph, that was the last operational coal mine that closed in 2015. So only a few years ago, people were still going down to mine for coal. And then a more conventional factory just middle right, which is a McDonald's burger factory. And I guess that will significantly change going forward. So many of these jobs that were available to the generations of the past will no longer be available to your generation and future generations. And I look forward to some of the future sort of employment opportunities. Top right, believe it or not, that is what a bank is going to look like. Middle top, that is an artificially intelligent police officer who is currently in development and will be on the streets of Saudi Arabia, we understand, by 2057. You look at how your Domino's pizza is going to be delivered. No longer will we see mopeds and bicycles with people delivering. It will be delivered by drone. The whole factory environment will change. You see middle left. That's an operational factory in China now, where there are very, very few human beings. All of the work is being done by artificially intelligent robots. Bottom left, a whole new career opening up in renewable energy, both wind and solar. New opportunities, top left, in terms of communication security, information security, and how that links into artificially intelligent robots. So really state-of-the-art things that we haven't really seen today. But then we've also got to consider the more conventional employment opportunities of the future. So there's still going to be a requirement for leaders. There's still going to be a requirement for far more human support, personal support, mental health support. So middle top is a counsellor, linking in with nurses, doctors, bottom right-hand side, food analysts. So these are roles that we firmly believe can't be replaced by artificial intelligence, or certainly not that easy. Designers, so dress designers, for example, computer-aided design designers, manufacturing the programs that then will be delivered by robots, sales and marketing, construction, all of these things will still be required despite the artificial intelligence takeover that we anticipate. So when I think about your future skills, and those of you may recognize top right, the photograph from the Humans TV series. and very much the emphasis on the brain, and very much what the human brain can deliver that is really difficult to program artificially. So when we think about our future skills, it's about mental elasticity, us having the ability to think, move and problem solve really quickly, because this can't be done through artificial intelligence. We have this unique ability to refine our thinking and do things very quickly. So critical thinking and creativity, that can't be replicated very easily by robotics. People skills, the importance to develop high performance teams, to communicate effectively, to public speak, still to get involved in the sales and marketing concepts of what people will want. But there's no doubt there'll be a greater requirement for you to be more involved in interdisciplinary knowledge. So the link between science, technology, engineering and maths, and social mobile analytics and the cloud, is all going to come in your lifetime. And this is what we have to prepare you for when you think about your option subjects. So it's much more challenging for you than perhaps students who were going through this process only a few years ago. Now, this isn't a presentation about going to university or not going to university, but what I want to highlight to you from these couple of slides is the salary comparison and the gap associated between level 2 understanding and level 2 qualifications, and then higher qualifications. And you can see the graph over on the left-hand side. You can see the salary gap increase over time between the pink and the blue. So that's about non-graduate and graduate employment. And you can see the huge gap by the time employees get to the age of sort of 45 and 50. And you can see the upward trend over on the right-hand side of the difference between non-graduates, graduates and postgraduates. Now, I'm not saying that I expect every single one of you to go to university, but I think your approach to a continual phase of learning in your lifetime is going to be very different to mine. You know, I went to secondary, I went to sixth form, then I went to university, then I went to work. That will probably not be the case in your lifetime, where you'll continually be given the opportunity to develop new skills. That therefore will close down that salary gap between graduates and non-graduates. But in order to do that, you've got to have those basic skills, those basic qualifications, which really are the entry qualifications to get into this lifetime of learning. And there's a simple sort of number for you to take away. And this is the impact of undergraduate degrees in a lifetime of earnings. It's been defined by the Department for Education that the difference between graduates and non-graduates over a working lifetime, corrected for tax and things like that, is a massive number. It's £430,000 difference over a working lifetime. You know, it's like a lottery number. So therefore, for you guys, the option subjects that you're going to take are really, really important. And we'll provide you with lots of assistance and help and support to make the right decisions. But ultimately, what you've got to think about, and I talk to you a lot about it, is about you know, opportunities for the future and enhanced salary opportunities and quality of life opportunities, which are so important. Okay, let's move on. Parents. Right, you, the parents, you're really, really important in this whole process. And, you know, if we look at parents' involvement in schooling between the ages of 7 and 16, you as parents have a much more influential impact in the success of your child's progress in school than any things like your own parental education and the size of the family or the family background. I cannot stress to you the importance of parental engagement. Now, that's not sitting down for hours every night and going through each of the lessons that your children have experienced during the day, but it's actually simply about asking those questions. And I know from my own son perspective, and he went to this school, and I'd say to him at the end of the day, "Well, what have you been doing today?" And he'd turn around to me and say nothing, or "I don't remember," or "It was a good day, but you know, I want to do something else. I don't want to talk about it." Now, actually, what you must do as parents, we encourage you, is not to be put off by those types of responses, but to have a genuine interest, because that has been proven to have a fundamental impact on the success of your children in their education, and that will then lead to greater career opportunities, greater salaries, and all the rest of it. So there's a real impact that you have on the success of your children in school. So please do. And that's not just about one parent or grandparents or things like that. It's the combination of that whole adult interest in the education. Okay, so parents' evening. Let's have a look at this. Parents' evening for us is absolutely critically important. It gives us the opportunity to download to you, the parents, the success and progress of your child. If we look back only a couple of years, attendance at Parents' Evening was broadly 30%. What I'm delighted to announce is, through all of the work that we've done to engage you, and also the fact that you recognise the importance of your impact with your child's success, that we're now able to celebrate 90% plus attendance at Parents' Evening. We're likely to continue it in the short term through Microsoft Teams. Certainly the feedback that we've had from parents is extremely positive about how we did our online Parents' Evening. So we're open to comments on that, but certainly we need you to engage in this process, to come to Parents' Evening, and also support your child in their ongoing success. Now, next thing is careers. Careers is critical. Careers advice opens the door of opportunity. The photograph over on the left-hand side is Miss Dutton, who's our Director of Aspiration. She leads careers advice within the Academy, and she's critical in terms of making your sons or daughters aware of the career opportunities which exist in life, many of which are not really well known to people. So if we were to talk about food technology, if we were to talk about food selection, if we were to talk about store design, there's so many opportunities that exist. You know, within the armed forces, there are over 43 different roles. So her advice is critical. So please do encourage your son or daughter to go and visit Miss Dutton. She will be calling you for interviews anyway, and I can't wait to get back to school on the 8th of March, and that whole process will be starting. What we are absolutely able to do, though, is see the progress of our students in terms of their improved results, and that, associated with their higher expectations, is resulting in significantly more students going on to higher education, whether that be at the college to do A-levels, or the grammar school, or the high school. There are many options available. So please do think about your future career, what you want to do, or at least ask the question, and Miss Dutton will support you in that selection process. Okay, home learning. I guess many of you will be looking at this and thinking, really, how important is it? Well, I can tell you from personal experience, home learning is a critical component part of the education of your son and daughter, particularly in year 9, 10 and 11. There's been lots of research around this. This comes from the Education Endowment Foundation, really the premier league of research organisations within education. And they absolutely, on the basis of significant research, tell us that home learning, effective home learning, equates to an additional 5 months of progress in every year. So we absolutely see students who are engaging in a collaborative approach to home learning are delivering those top grades of 7, 8s and 9s, even though their performance at primary school didn't necessarily indicate that that was their true potential. So home learning is really, really important. We would expect you to be doing at least 1 hour of home learning every day from year 9 through to year 11. And that is what your competitive colleagues will be doing at the high school or the grammar school or other high-performing schools. Absolutely. My own sister runs a high-performing girls' grammar school down in Beaconsfield, and her students will be doing 2 or 3 hours home learning every night. So please think about that and the importance of it. We'll provide you with a home learning timetable. We'll provide you with independent study booklets, which are all available online. And we do expect you to learn the information which is in them that will support your progress in your lessons. So home learning, really, really important. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation, and it gives me absolute delight to be able to hand the stage now over to Mrs. Broadbridge, who's going to take you through the options process, what her expectations are, and the kind of choices that you have available. Okay, I'll pass you over to her. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for all the comments. We've been reading in the chat. You are very active in your comments, and we're enjoying them. Keep them coming. So thank you for attending this evening, especially supporting your children through what can be a really difficult decision-making process. So Mr. Vanley has spoken to you about making wise choices for the future. I'm going to explain to you how it works. For Avon High, we start the processes in year 8, as you know. For you now, we're starting it. We offer the largest range of subjects and some of the best facilities in Boston. We're really proud of this fact. We want your child to choose appropriate courses that they will enjoy and where their chances of success are highest. We expect all our students to aim high, and we know that good qualifications open doors to the future. Our raised expectations of students has led to an impact in the courses that they've been picking. They are picking more academic routes, and this has had a significant increase in their attainment. It's been shown in our results. So what do we offer? They fall into 2 categories. So firstly, we've got our GCSEs, and these are assessed at the end of year 11 by exams. So you don't submit any coursework for these ones. They're all ability subjects, so anybody can study these. They offer a grade from a 9 to 1. So old money, we used to have our A star to G. We've moved on from 9 to 1, and 9 is a new grade. It is equivalent to an A star star, so above and beyond anything that we could get. All students will do some of these GCSEs, particularly the ones you can see on the screen. Every student will study these. These are our core subjects. And then secondly, we have our BTEC awards. And these are graded at a pass, merit, distinction, and a distinction star. These are externally assessed as well. They have an exam, usually an online exam, but they rely really heavily on a portfolio of evidence. So students are working on this all the way through the full years, meaning that you have to work really hard every lesson to produce assignments of good quality. Historically, our BTECs, people have thought there was an easy option. They didn't used to have exams to them, but now they do. But this is really not the case. They require commitment and dedication to the course. So if you don't think you want to be a motor vehicle mechanic or a hairdresser in the future, I would ask you to question whether these are the right courses for you due to the amount of work involved. They sound really fun and interesting to do, but if you're not interested in a career for the future, maybe think twice about it. Our BTECs are vocationally based, and they are practical in application and focus. Our subjects include, among others, motor vehicles, construction, and salon services. A new addition for this year is engineering, which is really exciting, a development for the Academy. Please use our course guide to find out a little bit more about this. It's an exciting opportunity for our students. All of our courses are offered to level 2, meaning they're equivalent to a 4 to a 9 at the GCSE, so A star star to C in old money. They're taught by specialist teachers who are experts in their field. Your child will choose 3 options. They will study these from years 9 to 11. In year 9, it's a slightly different process to what we'll do in year 10 and 11. So in year 9, your students will, their studies will be made up of their core subjects, so their English, their maths and their science, and 2 hours a week of their option subjects, and then what we're calling the Haven Pathway. And this consists of geography, history, languages and ICT. So they will continue to receive that during year 9. Then when we move into year 10, they will drop that side of it and their option subjects will move up to 3 hours per week. So what have we done so far to support you? Already you have had an extensive range of taster sessions. Unfortunately, these had to be online this year. However, they are now recorded, which is really nice. And so we can, so the taster sessions are recorded and they are in the Teams channels that you have access to. You've had workshops with our Director of Aspirations, Miss Dutton, and these have been recorded too. So if you've not had that yet, or which will come this week as well, you'll have access to the recordings. You've received an assembly about making wise choices. We feel it's important that students make choices for them, not their friends, because the chances of being in a class with your friends is not guaranteed. Just because you both pick history, there'll be more than one history class. And we ask that you pick a broad range of subjects as well. So our assembly was advising you in this. Each form has a dedicated area on Teams to support with the options process. This is a place where we have lots of files stored for them, so they have access to recordings and their timetables was there for the taster sessions, etc. And their form tutors meet with them in there in the morning, excuse me, so that they can keep reminding them of the information that's in there. We've put a lot of effort into supporting your child to make wise choices, and we ask that students put a lot of effort into thinking about this carefully before they choose the subjects that they want to study. The reason being it's a little bit harder to change these once the classes have been put together due to class sizes. Another resource that students have access to is a platform called Zello. They will either already have or shortly be given a registration and with Zello with Miss Dutton in your sessions that she's doing with you. This is a really exciting platform where students, you can explore your own personality styles and your learning styles, and it's linked to possible future careers. So you tell them your likes and dislikes and it can give you ideas of careers that might suit you. It's not guaranteed to work, but it gives you ideas to think about. And also on there's links to every single university and college in the UK, which then can help you do some research into the types of courses that you want to study. Okay, so what are your choices? So in option block 1, this is the only specification that we have, is that we ask students to study either triple science, geography, history or French. So every student will choose one of those. And then we have option block 2, and you can see we've included those subjects in there. So if you wanted to do history and geography, that is a possibility. But also you have the BTECs in there. I'll just leave that on for you to have a quick read through. And option block 3, you'll see, is just the same. So you can choose 2 BTECs if you really want to. However, the work commitment involved in coursework to this, and we advise you to think carefully about that. And also, if you wanted to do all GCSEs, that is a possibility too, because they're repeated here as well. So what's next? You will all have a meeting with a member of staff that's been allocated to you, so they will carry out a short interview. Please don't panic about this. It's not a scary interview process. It's them helping you to make wise choices, making sure you understand the process. So like our EAL team are getting involved in this so that they can support people if you need help with translations. And many of the teachers who are involved in this process are involved in that too. Once you've had that meeting, you will then be given a link to the form that you will apply for your options. I ask that you fill this in carefully because it's hard to amend because you only get one choice at this. You can't reuse the form. Once you've done it once, it won't let you resubmit. I ask you to pick your first 3 favourite subjects and then I ask you to pick 3 backup plans, just in case. Okay, just in case you've picked something and the availability is not there because the options are full. That's the word I was looking for. I couldn't think what it is. Some of our subjects only have small classes, for example, construction. These are the people that you can contact this evening or over the coming week if you would like some help with any subject-specific questions. I myself and other members of staff are in school or about, so can answer any of your questions that you might have this evening. Thank you for your time.
Block 1, you have your GCSEs, triple science, geography, history and French. Everyone would have to pick from that box there, okay? And then we've got option block 2, you would pick from these options as well, okay? So you can pick which subject you would like to do out of that. Okay, and then we've got option block 3, which is your other area where you would pick as well.
At Haven High, we have a very clear vision about the world-class education that we're providing for our students to enable them to progress to be successful citizens of the future.
So that, I hope through that video, that was just a taste of the curriculum that we have at Haven High Academy. When you go on to Key Stage 4, you get that opportunity to really pick the subjects that you find you're passionate about and you really want to get involved in. And our teachers, they really demonstrate that passion in the subjects that they teach and the engagement that we've got there. But what I really want to do, because you've got so many questions today, is really I want to direct you to some information. I want to direct you to where you can get some information to find out some more. Because I truly believe if you've got more and more information, it will allow you to make those informed choices. And with those informed choices, it allows you to really direct where you want to go in your future and hit your future goals. So our website, if you go onto our website, you'll notice that there's just a small banner that says Class of 24 Options Evening. If I just give that a click, that's going to take us to a page called Curriculum Offer. And on this Curriculum Offer page, you're going to find all of the information that you possibly need to make those informed choices about where you're going to go next with your education journey. So if I scroll down, first of all, we have our new designed curriculum guide. And we really wanted to elevate this year to really showcase to you where we are taking the academy in relation to our curriculum offer. So this curriculum guide, if I just take it to full screen, this curriculum guide will really direct you in relation to where you can get support, where you can find out more information about careers, work experience, all sorts of stuff like that. So for example, we've got mathematics on here. It really breaks down how the course is going to be structured, how it's going to work, and how you're going to really do well in that subject. Something that we felt was really important this year was this star rating. Personally, myself, I openly say this to many of my students. My name is Mr. Bruce. I teach ICT and computer science. I'm very solving focused and logical minded, but I wouldn't say sadly, but my biggest weakness for myself at the moment is dyslexia. I struggle quite severely on literacy. And it doesn't really deter me from subjects, but it does make me feel, oh, which subject might be more suited towards me. And what we've kind of put on here is a bit of a star rating. So if there's a subject on here and you're thinking, you know what, I really like the look of, let's scroll on. I really like the look of triple science. Triple science would be really good for me. Right, literacy, that's a 4-star. So I'm going to have to be doing some written work in there. That's really good. Numeracy, I need to make sure my math skills are up to scratch. I need to make sure that I'm getting involved, able to do those formulas and those calculations. So we're hoping to give you that little bit of extra information just to give you that informed choice. So this is done for all of our subjects. This gives you a little bit of an overview, and we can take that from there. Another important fact on there is about future careers. How many of you in chat, and I guarantee there's many of you in chat, sit there and go, well, I don't know what I want to do in the future. I don't know what career I'm going to take. I don't know where I'm going to go. Well, why don't you have a look at the options that we have on offer, have a look at some of the future careers, and then have a look at some of the salaries there. You know, do you ever thought about being an art therapist? Did you think that was an option when you take on art and design? Well, it is. You know, did you know that a graphics designer can get up to 35,000 a year? You know, these are all on there for you to have a look at, get stuck in with, and be really adventurous with it. So I'm just going to pop that down there. Another exciting thing for you all is I know some of you may be very focused on a bit of a visual based way of finding out about your subjects. And on this website, what we've done is we tasked our staff, our passionate staff, to go out of their way to produce an introductory video, just explaining the option, explaining it to you in their most engaging way and in a way that's going to really attract you there. So if you wanted to know about motor vehicles, for example, I'm going to give that a click. Oh, nice. So what I'm trying to get at with this one here is get involved. Don't just pick the subjects because you want to, because your friends are picking it, or because you think, yeah, I really want to get involved in that. Read the content, read our introductory videos, go out your way, really make those informed choices, and you won't regret it in the future. You really won't.
And so after you've had your interview with the member of staff that is assigned to you and you've had your conversations with them, they will give you the link to the form for you to be able to fill in. There is no rush for this. Don't be coming to me tomorrow morning and say, Miss, I need to pick. Okay, I want you to think about this really carefully. Speak to your parents, speak to teachers, speak to people who you know around you, your neighbours, about the work that they do. Speak to as many people as you can so that you make a wise choice. And then preferably by the end of the month, we will have had all of our applications in.
So, class of 24, I just want to say thank you so much for attending tonight. It's really good to see so many of you. I think we just counted 209 students and their families online, which is amazing. And the number of questions coming through really demonstrates the fact that you're taking this really seriously. It is a critical decision that you need to make. As Ms. Broadbridge has made clear, there is no need to rush. Don't be anxious about this. Think carefully about what you want, and then obviously you can contact your teachers. Okay, so I'll just wrap it up. It's now 6:45. It gives you now 15 minutes to go through some of your subject choices on the videos that have been made by the staff. And I do want to thank the staff on your behalf, just because of the pandemic, as you would expect us to do, we've carried on with the world-class education. The teachers have all been out and have filmed things and all sorts of stuff to make your choices easy for you. The videos are all on the website for you, and you can just go on to the website, Haven High Academy, and options choices, and you will see them there, and you can just click on them and play them at your leisure. So thank you so much. Have a super evening. Stay safe for the last few days before you return to Haven High. And we're so excited about seeing you next week. Okay, any questions, do shoot them through to your teachers, or we'll keep this communication going for some time so you can continue to fire the questions through on this. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good evening.